What's going on, everybody? All right, we're here with Brian Edge. Go check out his YouTube channel, The Bored Woodworker. Also, check him out on Instagram. He does do woodworking and sell stuff on there, so go make sure you pick up some stuff on there. He should be getting his shop getting close to being done here pretty soon and get started back making stuff for you guys. But what we're going to talk about today, we are going to talk about him towing with this Tundra. There's a lot of people thinks you can't tow with a Tundra because it has like a C-channel frame and stuff like that, and they say it's not stable. But Brian towed about 9,000 pounds with this truck, and how many miles was it?
500 each way, so about, and there was 4 trips, so 2,000 miles.
So he's done about,
I think I have an idea.
Let's say 2 to 2,500 miles worth of towing with this truck. So let me get the camera turned around. We'll get on Brian. We'll let you know his experience.
All right, well, we all know that it has the 5.7, so it had, the gas mileage sucked. Quite frankly, my gas mileage didn't really drop much towing because it was already in the toilet. So
what kind of gas mileage was you getting towing?
Towing that full trailer, I was getting about 8.
That's single digits.
Yeah.
And that's on the interstate too, correct?
Yes. Yeah. But now I also want to point out that there were some points, because of the inclines being 12 to 14%, I needed to be in the truck lane because it did struggle with its maximum payload going up some of the bigger hills.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand about being in the South, is we have a lot of hills and a lot of curves and stuff like that, and they think driving down here in the winters are the same as driving up north. But whenever you introduce hills and curves, and they don't exactly always angle the curves like they should be, it becomes a little bit trickier. And also your towing mile per gallon is going to suffer because of that as well.
Yeah. So now on average, when I was in Jersey, because I did a bunch of back road driving, most of the time I got about 9.5 to 10. So, but I also drove 2 miles to work through 8 traffic lights. So it was stop and go the whole way.
Yeah, that'll kill your gas mileage as well.
But driving that is about what I got with a 9,000 pound trailer.
Yeah.
It was a 16-foot trailer, 7.5 foot wide. Empty, it weighs 3,000 pounds. So I didn't have really many issues. The biggest thing was just making sure your weight was proportionate to the way that you were hauling. Because if I put too much weight in the nose or on the back end, it would want to be really bouncy.
Yeah.
But as long as you get it right, it's just like you're driving up a steep incline without the trailer. You just go slower and it works perfectly fine.
So how was it in tracking? Because I hear people talk about sometimes they feel it swaying a little bit because that C-channel frame flexes. Did you experience any swaying or anything whenever you was towing like that?
Well, actually, that's one thing I forgot when we talked on the last video was I have the sway bar. So the sway bar does stop a little bit of that sway. You will feel it, but you don't feel it as much with the sway bar on.
Okay. Because I hear people talk about that, and it wants to wiggle a little bit with you. But like I said, I've never towed, so I didn't know how much of that actually.
Well, Tundras are known to be like the twerk winner of the trucks. I mean, let's be honest. The bedroll and how much they bounce, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's actually better to drive around with about 200 pounds in the bed of your truck, and it drives like a Cadillac.
Yep.
You take it out and it turns into like a Jeep or something like that wants to bounce every time you hit bumps.
I've drove a Tundra. I'm not going to say which one wasn't yours, but I've drove one. And when I hit a bump, bees are on me. When I hit a bump, it would actually, I felt like I could hear the bed slap. I don't know if that's what it was, but it sounded like that. Mine doesn't do it, but I've driven them that do that.
Yeah, actually some of the double cabs, you have an issue with the bed actually hitting the body if you're not aligned.
I didn't see any paint messed up on the one I drove, but that very well could have been what was happening.
And that happens, not to mention the T34 bolts, I think they are, that are holding down the bed. If they don't get them exactly tight, or if they get a little rusty and get a little bit loose, you will get a little bit of vibration, and it sounds weird. It sounds like, you know, the rear is going to fall out, but it's just your bed moving along.
And that very well could be what it is too. I've never checked that. It's not my truck, so you know I didn't really look at that. But that
I can talk to him. I think I know who it is.
No, this one is one we've not talked about on the channel ever. So I don't want to say what it is because I'll tell you after it's over.
But I have heard the Tacomas have that problem too, because they're so light in the back end that they get a bunch of weird noises when they drive on like cobblestone or on gravel. It sounds kind of sketchy, but.
Now my cousin tows a camper with his Tacoma. It's not a big camper, but I've never heard him say that. But he's got TRD Pro, so maybe they took a little bit more effort in making sure they got that right.
They have a better suspension in them compared to the Platinum 1794s.
Yeah, they've got the Fox suspension underneath them. He said he had a Tacoma before that, and he said it drives way better with the Fox suspension than it does without.
It does. Last time that my other truck got totaled, my rental was a F-250 with the suspension. Oh, it was amazing. Then I got into the Tundra and I'm like, all right, this ain't too comfortable.
Yeah, I may upgrade my suspension like we was talking about inside. Eventually. It may happen. As I've told y'all, I'm thinking about selling my Jeep and possibly the car. And when that happens, I may go ahead and lift it a little more. But if I lift it, I probably will lose some of the ride I've got now, to tell you the truth about it. From my experience with the Jeep suspension is rough. Now, it is a Jeep, but with a lift, it's actually pretty rough.
If you go with a suspension lift, it won't really change too much. You will get a little bit more body roll.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to go a little bit higher, I would run into an issue of not being able to have my sway bar on, depending on how big I went.
That's what I started to say. If I go with like a 4 or 5 inch lift, I probably won't be able to get a sway bar, and I will experience that then because there's no way to really stabilize it after that.
But you can actually get custom made downlinks.
Okay.
For longer.
Like aftermarket?
Yeah.
Yep. So overall, your towing experience was pretty good?
Yeah, it towed perfectly fine. I mean, going up and down some hills, the braking is amazing on this. All you do, you just go in and you just click up with a little bit more brake assist.
So I'll show y'all what he's talking about when they talk about brake assist. Some trucks come with this. I don't know if they all do, but like the upper trim levels do. Mine has it. It is this right here. This is your brake assist right here, and you can turn up your gain or down and stuff like that. And that's what he's talking about by turning it up and down.
Yeah. So when I drive with the trailer empty, I drive with it around 5 or 6, 5.5 to 6. When the trailer was full, I was running somewhere around 7.5.
Okay.
If you take it any higher than that, your trailer's stopping the truck, so.
Instead of vice versa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it worked great as far as that's concerned.
Nice. Good deal. So there it is. You actually can tow with a Tundra. Brian had a good experience. The truck did well. He gave you advice on where to set your towing settings when you're doing that on your box. So for all the people that said the Tundra can't tow, 9,000 pounds, sounds like it did pretty good to me. I appreciate y'all watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.